Good morning, everyone. We are back, and I think we have the technology straightened out. Sorry about that delay. Everyone should have just gotten their worksheets in the email, so you can get the worksheets out. We're going to talk about a lot today. Today is the day where you create the profile of the one that you want. You create a profile of your soulmate.
Yes.
You know, it's on you today to do. So we have some blanks. Hey, good afternoon, Bernie. But those are blanks that you're gonna fill in. So thank you all for coming, and we're gonna get started. Jennifer Jones, thanks for being here. We love to see you all here and all interacting. Everyone's responses to the challenge questions have been really great. It's like people are really, Tasha, they're taking time to really go inside.
Right.
You know, introspection. They're doing some introspection. They're doing some soul searching. They're really taking time to answer the questions from an honest place, it appears, from a deep place. You know, most of the answers were not superficial.
Right.
So we really appreciate all the effort that everyone is putting in and all the work we are putting in. We love it.
Good job, you guys.
Yep. So good morning to everyone. Good afternoon to those on the East Coast. Good morning to those on the West Coast and Midwest.
Yep.
Hey, Jennifer, how are you? Good morning. We see Dee is here today.
Hey, Dee. Hey, Jennifer.
And we said hello to Bernie. Say hello to
Hey,
us.
Bernie.
Everyone who's in here, say hello, because we want to recognize you for the effort that you've been putting in and for coming and showing up daily. It has been wonderful and participating.
Yeah.
And we hope that you've been getting a lot of value from this. And those of you who love to watch for the workbooks in your email, they were just sent out right before we went live, so you'll have them. But not to worry, you don't have to really focus on that right now. We just want everyone to say hello. Everyone who's in, say hello so we could acknowledge you. Miriam, good morning.
Hey, Miriam, how are you?
Miriam's on the west side. She said good morning. Yep.
Jennifer checked in. Hey, Jennifer.
All right, so it is 7 after the hour, so we're going to go ahead and get started because, you know, everyone who's not in here, we want to remind you that you could watch this on the replay. You watch it on the replay every day. Today, we're going to start a little bit different. You know, we and Tasha and I, we feel like we've given so much value already in this challenge. And if you feel like we're giving you value, just put a 1 in the comments. You know, put a 1 if you feel like you've gotten value and you appreciate it. Everything that's been going on in the challenge so far, and even in the group,
right?
The singles mingle and the different connections that we've made.
Hey, Mary.
Mary's in England. She said, "Good evening. Thank you for joining, Mary. It's wonderful."
Thank you, Mary.
Tasha and I wanted to do something special today. We wanted to do something special. You know, lots of people have been asking about how they can work. They know I'm a therapist. They know that we have programs. People are asking how they can work with us one-on-one, and we want to, before we tell you that, we just want to share our story. You know, we want to share our story because we've talked about meeting your soulmate. We've talked about looking at demographics and psychographics. We've talked about really paying attention to your deal breaker list,
right?
And definitely running when you see the red flags, because the red flags mean danger. Right. So, you know, we've talked about those things, and we haven't gotten a chance to really share our journey and how we got to this point. So we want to take time to do that and just share with everyone. We like to, you know, in certain situations in the group, you know, we've had opportunities to open our hearts to everyone, but everyone, you know, say, you know, we're a wonderful couple, and we are a wonderful couple now.
Yes.
And we want to tell you how it started and how it evolved, because, you know, as an example to show you where you can go with the information that we've given you. You know, for years before I met Tasha, I was in and out of relationships. I would meet a woman, I would see some things I didn't like, and then most of the time, it was the same things that I didn't like from the past relationship. But I still entered into the relationship with the thought in the back of my mind that it's not going to last forever. Did y'all hear that? I entered into relationships with the thought in my mind that it is not going to last forever, you know? And I think I got that because growing up, I didn't have any examples of relationships and what a healthy relationship looked like. My mother and father got married after 12 years of marriage. They got divorced, and I was about 9 years old at the time. My father was a serial cheater throughout my whole life. And when I realized that I was a lesbian, I was afraid that I would be a cheater like my father, but I wasn't. But instead, I would get into relationships where the red flags were flying and the deal breakers were everywhere. But I would still pursue the relationship. I saw myself as the best partner ever. I thought I was like, women should just love me because I'm wonderful and I'm great. That's how I saw myself. But then I'm still wondering, well, why aren't my relationships working? If I was so great, I felt like if I was doing women a favor, if a woman said, I love you to me, I would say, I love you to her.
No.
Just like, without thinking, did I even really love her? Just because a woman liked me, I would, okay, I'll try. I'm going to like you too.
Right.
Just those steps that I was taking were not, conducive to like a good relationship. So the last relationship I had before I met Tasha was one that shined a light for me on how crazy my choices had gotten. And I know if y'all can relate to me about making bad choices when you're picking women, just put a 1 in the comment if you can relate about that. But my choices had gotten bad. I was living alone, had a good job and everything else. I met a woman online and she was in another state. The next thing you know, I'm flying to go see her. When I get there, she's temperamental and, just someone that shouldn't have been attracted to and shouldn't have been in a relationship with. I try to break it off and then she convinced me to not break it off. So I hung on for a little while longer until it got to be very toxic. And then I had to let it go. And when we finally broke up a couple of months later, it ended up very badly. I had to block her and I'm sure she probably blocked me because the things that she said were ugly. Like I told y'all, profanity, arguing, all that kind of stuff. I don't do. So it got really ugly. At this point in my life, guys, I was already 52. 52 and no good long-term relationship yet in my life. I had a great job, a nice, comfortable home, and no love interest, much less a soulmate anywhere in sight. And I started to fear that maybe that last relationship that I had that ended so badly, maybe that was my last relationship, And what if I would never get the chance to experience love again? That was my fear. Because I love having that experience. I thought I was a good person. I thought I was a great person. I thought I had a lot to share. And I wanted to be able to share that with someone. But I just didn't know how. And I think because I didn't have that example of a relationship growing up, maybe I just had a fear of commitment or something. At the time, I didn't know what it was. Then I came across something. After I started doing all this questioning, I even was questioning Tasha if I even knew what love was. Like, what is love? I was questioning all of that. And then I came across something that said, if you want to find true love, it's like you have to stop just dating anybody. You have to just stop dating random people because then they're just blocking you from the right person. So I had to stop. I stopped and I just stood still. I just stood still and I started to look at myself. I began in my spare time to meditate even more. I started to research theories on relationships, on love, and because I needed to know. I wanted to find out. I was even Googling, like, what is love? Have anybody ever been to that point where you're like, do I even know what love is?
Right.
I'm trying to find this thing and it eludes me so much that I don't even know what it is. So I had to come to grips with the fact that I had to be a better partner. I had to look at myself and I had to actually learn how to commit to a relationship, and every little thing that I didn't like about a partner would cause me to just leave. I would be in a relationship, see something that I didn't like, which was one of my deal breakers or red flags. And I'm sure I saw it before I could, I got into that relationship,
Right.
But I still got in.
It was steps to get to this point.
Yeah.
You guys, before I met Simone, I was in many relationships. These relationships all mirrored one another in some shape, form, or fashion. They were all the same, just different people. Oh, it's back.
Are we back now?
You want to still move?
I don't know. Let's try. Oh, are we back now? Because we don't know if it's going to do it. Let's hang in here. Yep. We're here. We're back. Okay, Tasha, continue. If we lose signal again, we're going to try to change locations. But we'll let Tasha just continue.
Can we start over?
Yeah. And we'll let her, I know you probably missed some, so we're going to, yep, go ahead.
Okay, guys, I'm going to start over because I'm not sure which part we was able to get. So basically, before I met Simone, I was in many relationships, you guys. These relationships all mirrored one another in some shape, form, or fashion. It was the same thing, just different people. The red flags and the deal breakers were just jumping out at me, basically beating me over my head. And I was so determined to be in a relationship, I ignored all the red flags and deal breakers that I said I wouldn't deal with, like the emotional abuse, the physical abuse, not being family oriented. The person wasn't into families, sharing each other, families, visiting, none of that.
And you had a child.
And I had a child, so that was definitely a deal breaker. And the person not even really wanting kids or even just respecting me as a person or as a partner. These type of relationships started to be a pattern for me. And I realized that I did not have a relationship to mirror growing up since my parents were not together. I made a decision that I was going to make better choices and just figure out why I was settling and ignoring the very deal breakers that I told myself I would not waver on. I began to look at ways to make myself a better person. I said, maybe it's something that Tasha needs to do different. Maybe Tasha needs to work on herself to try to figure out why I was attracting the same type of people with the same deal breakers. So I started working on myself and doing affirmations and reading how to love yourself as a person and recognize just different unsettling behaviors that I didn't want to deal with. I started putting myself and my son first, and not put so much focus on finding a partner. It was time to look at Tasha and see what Tasha could do better as a person. I had to show myself I was enough and that I actually mattered. I did not have to take just any woman that came along, just settle. I told myself that I too deserve a forever love. I deserve the person that would love and respect me, and that would treat me like the queen that I was. At this point, I had been through a lot, and I was willing to wait for my soulmate. Through working on myself, I knew my forever love was out there, and I would be patient and believe she was on her way. Then, you guys, one day, my best friend called and invited me over to hang out with her and another friend of hers and her neighbor, which was, you guessed it, guys, Simone.
So that evening, Tasha and I sat together all evening connecting as if we had known each other all of our lives. And then when our friends started to play some music, some slow jams, we got up to dance. And on the DeBarge song, Time Will Reveal, it's like we were in an embrace dance scene. And you know, y'all, that song said, I know just how you feel, but this time love's for real. This special love that's deep inside of us will all reveal in time. And so in that moment, I felt like I was finally home. It just felt like holding Tasha, dancing to that song. It just felt like home. And y'all, 3 weeks later, we both moved out of where we were living and we moved into a new place together. 3 weeks, y'all. You all lesbians, that's us. So I was terrified because I had just uprooted my whole life. I just changed my whole life. And y'all know I had that issue with commitment, but I took that jump and I was terrified. And I knew how to do things that, the things that we talked about this week about, you know, deal breakers, all that kind of stuff, finding the right, you know, soulmate. She has to be this, she has to be that, she has to be evolved and all of that. The things we talked about this week, I was kind of like good in that area, but there was more work that I had to do with myself to really have a long-lasting relationship, you know? So 2 years after moving in together, I started feeling very uneasy. It's like that unexplainable feeling that caused me to leave so many relationships. And I went away for a week. I just took a week to just be silent, to retreat, and to think it over. And my solution was that to tell Tasha that she had to move out.
Okay, you guys. So Simone and I hit it off instantly the night we met. That night we laughed, we danced, we enjoyed one another's company. It was crazy the way that I felt in that moment with Simone that I had never felt before. In my mind, I was saying, is she the one? Is this what it feels like, you guys? You guys, I did not want that night to end. It felt so good. I was so drawn to Simone. From that night, we spent all our time together. Outside of working, we were inseparable. We were together all the time. Simone was so awesome, kind, loving, and gentle. She was always concerned about my son and his well-being. This just melted my heart. I was just over the moon, you guys. After just 3 weeks of dating, we decided to move in together. Everything was well. So I thought. After 2 years of being in together, Simone came back from being out of state. And she told me she wanted me to move out immediately. Huh? I was shocked, you guys. I was so dumbfounded, upset, confused on what just happened when I thought everything was going so well. I felt as if my heart had been ripped out of my chest. I wasn't sure what just happened or even why. I was in disbelief, trying to process it all. I wasn't sure if it was the fact that I had to get out immediately, or of course in that moment, I just wasn't prepared. I was just distraught on how it was handled, not to mention I had to explain to my son that we were moving. It was a lot. I had to get my thoughts together and figure out what just happened and what was my next move. It was a lot. The love of my life dropped a bomb on me. However, still reassuring me that we were not breaking up for good. So I didn't have to worry. But guys, you can imagine how I felt inside. I just couldn't fathom that in that very moment. I just thought I was losing my love forever. But you guys, she was telling me that right when she said I had to move immediately. And I was not processing this at all, needless to say. I moved out, and that day was filled with anger, sadness, uncertainty, not knowing, where our relationship was going from this very moment. Not knowing if our relationship was going to last through this new direction that we were going in. I was mad because it was out of the blue. Mad because I felt I needed answer, and the answer that I was given was not enough. Sad because I really didn't know if we were over, although Simone told me things would be the same, but it would be in different households. So I was still trying to process that. I hated this choice. Once again, I found myself having to look inward and focus on improving me. No one is perfect. At that time, I had health issues that needed to be addressed with diet and exercise. I needed to focus on my son and just get us back on a routine. I started working on me and learning ways to eat better and take care of myself. I made more effort to start doing some form of exercise, and I actually made a serious effort in many of my habits. Simone and I continued with our relationship, and time apart allowed me to focus on me and also the things I needed to improve.
And during our time apart, I had to take a serious look at myself. I started to examine my life by diving into different programs that would help me to search my whole soul, my whole being, everything. And after 2 years, I saw myself in Tasha in a whole new light, you know. I took Tasha to a silent meditation retreat where we couldn't have any communication at all.
Yeah,
we stayed in separate rooms, and the only contact was when we passed each other in the hallway and exchanged a quick glance. But in those glances, I knew that it was time. I saw forever with Tasha. And I knew that all the work that we both did, stop it, did not only the past 2 years, but prior to that was now paying off. And I decided at that retreat that I had to marry Tasha. And once Tasha and I came back together in the same household, we began to document the things that were instrumental to our transformation and to get us to the point where we knew this was forever. And, you know, as a result, we designed a system, a formula not only for finding love, but for making it last. And that became our single to soulmate system. That's what we call it. It's a single to soulmate program. And, you know, we just wanted to extend an invitation to y'all. And I know that so many of you are ready.
Sorry, guys.
We wanted to just work with people who knew our heart and who we connected with on a deeper level. Sorry, y'all, we didn't know we needed tissue today. We don't have any tissue. Oh man, I would just like everybody to close your eyes right now. If everybody could just close your eyes right now, we're gonna do, you know, some breathing. We're gonna do some breathing. You know, I just want to slow down right now. Everybody, just please close your eyes. And I want you to imagine your life in 6 to 12 months from now, when you're actually in your home and the woman of your dreams is there, and she walks up behind you and she just gives you that embrace from the back. She just embraces you from the back. And that feels like home. You know, you're thinking, you did everything that we talked about this week. You made your soulmate list. You made a list of deal breakers and the things that would make you say no to the wrong person. You stuck to your values and your standards. And now the woman that you envisioned during the challenge is in your home, holding on to you. And you can feel her. You feel her, you feel her heart, you feel her breath. You take a deep breath, and when you're breathing in love. And you feel the love. You haven't felt this good in years. You feel so comfortable with her. And you're thinking, I want this to last forever. Breathe in love. Take a breath and breathe love into your heart. And breathe out any doubt that you've had about this partner. So all the years of hoping and wishing for a life partner, you can open your eyes now. Someone who is truly your forever love has come down to you making one heartfelt and empowered decision, you know, to just knock all those barriers down to keep you from true love like me and Tasha had to do.
Right.
And from the life partner that you've been waiting for. You know, because even when you find her, if you haven't prepared yourself, if you haven't searched yourself, if you haven't gone deep and worked on yourself, then it's going to be just like repeating the same patterns where the relationships don't work. So the Single to Soulmate program is open right now for registration. And we call our family the Universal Love Family. You know, and it's a family where we take you in our arms and welcome you in, and we're walking with you day in and day out as you become the woman that you're meant to be, so that the woman that you felt holding on to you just now can find you and you can find her. When you begin to work on yourself, you break the cycle of attracting the wrong women, and you clear the way for your ideal partner to come so that, you can find each other.
This is your chance to put yourself first, you guys. Take the time to work on yourself and get accountability, the coaching, the direction, the support, and everything you need to be so that woman can find you and you're able to keep true love. It's your time. It's your turn. It's no coincidence or accident that we all came together and you have a dream of finding your life partner. We had the dream of helping it make it your reality. It's really a family here at Universal Love. No one else gives the level of support and caring that we do when it comes to walking side by side with you as you prepare yourself for a loving relationship. Women are floundering out there by themselves. We're here for you. We will give you support and caring to make sure that you're doing the work to be a stronger woman, a more loving woman, a woman that can open her heart and receive true love.
And Tasha, this is the only program that literally has me and Tasha as your guides. We're working with you every week, one-on-one individually, as well as like live coaching calls in a group setting. And it's going to be a small group of women, that we're working with every week for 90 days. And we're also answering your questions as you have them. You always have access to us. So it's me and Tasha giving you the feedback that you deserve and that you need to help you just grow into the woman that you need to be to maintain a relationship.
Right.
We all know it's easy just to find somebody to date. It's easy to do that if that's what you want to do. It's
right.
easy just to find just anyone to date, but when you want to find that long-lasting love, when you want to find a person who's going to just go through life with you, walk on that journey of life with you, then you got to take other steps. And I have people who are asking us for the link. So we're going to type the link down here, and you can feel free in the chat box. Tasha's going to put the link in. You can go there and you can sign up. And I want to tell you something